Can you talk a little bit about how a retailer might think about better sharing their values and tactically making sure the community gets who they are and what they're trying to do?
Yeah, and just before I do that, Robert, one thing that that you said just really rang true for me is, these people, they're going to buy these products and they have a choice to buy them at Walgreens or Costco or wherever, and they're choosing your retail shop, your independent retail shop. So they're choosing that intentionally, and probably because it's more of an energy that they feel aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
So how we share that message after we come up with a common definition for an organization and have surveyed the staff and some of the stakeholder groups and just really got clear on what that common definition of sustainability is. What we do is now everyone's empowered to tell stories around what sustainability is and how sustainability shows up in their everyday life.
Yeah.
Whether that is at work or whether that's at home. And then that nicely transitions to the clients or into the customers who should be treated like clients.
Totally.
Yeah. And, what are the stories happening in the community? A lot of retailers have newsletters and they talk about all the great things that they're doing as an organization and profiling brands. But what about profiling your customers, profiling the community? And you need a little bit of your voice in there. But just that storytelling. And I think storytelling is such a lost art. And I find myself even, sharing stories with my kids at night. And I just, lie there telling them stories and think about how this used to be the way. We didn't have computers and even before radio, won't go too far back. But just that idea of telling a story and sharing information, I think it comes from a different place. It shifts us. You talk about consciousness. It shifts us from the head down to the heart, and that's a journey, a 16-inch journey that is infinite.
Yeah, Rob, you're nailing it, man. I think that when you talked about having a common definition for the store, the right words, and brands spend a lot of time on this, right? Brands in particular spend a lot of time and money on the right words because we get one shot in an ad or one shot, on a bottle to make our point. Retailers could probably learn from that, right? I mean, retailers, if you really took the time to define your culture and define what sustainability means and define what your core values are as a retailer, and then put them in the right words, and then create the stories around that and train your staff on that, now you're all speaking with one voice, right? To me, that's the baseline level. And then what you talked about second level is now profile your customers and give them the right story. You might have several stories, but that's awesome. That's beautiful advice. Very cool.
Yeah, thanks. And then, and that ties into one of our guiding principles of, how you do anything is how you do everything. Right. So if you're telling that common definition, that common story, what's the power of that? And going fast alone as a retailer. And this is what I love about you guys, Robert. You're not going fast alone. You're engaging your community to go further together and helping them to target and share those stories about what Mega Foods does.
Right.
And it's not just helping your brand, but it's helping the industry. And I think it's a very selfless act. So I'd love to acknowledge you for that.
No, I appreciate that.